Hey guys, it's Seth here from Silver Soul Gaming, and I'm back again this week to finally bring you guys a video. I missed next week. I've been very busy in my real life, doing things with my job. It is summer here. We've got a lot of fires going on in Australia, not where I live, but in other areas of Australia, and it's affecting pretty much all of us because it's a massive disaster. And there will be links to support it if anyone wants to, but I'm sure a lot of people already have. Anyway, let's just get into this video, ignore the terrible disaster and escape from the real world for 10 minutes of your time, or however long this takes. But I wanted to talk about Strand games. Obviously, Death Stranding was a great game, and they want to create a new genre of Strand games that Kojima kind of wants to do, and I don't know if any other developers will do, but I'm sure they'll try and do it, like with Souls-like games. But I'm sure something will pop up from this kind of new genre they want to create. But I want to talk about if we actually need more of these kinds of games within the games industry and the games world itself, because Death Stranding itself is very experimental, and if they want to continue this kind of focus on a more of a cinematic storytelling experience that isn't a film, and it isn't quite a game, it's that in between where it's a film with playable sections, I guess, is kind of what I got from Death Stranding. I don't know if there's much of a market for it, and I don't know if it'll sell as well without that Kojima name attached to it. But obviously, if they want to go for that weird in-between spot between films and games, it would be a lot more slow-paced, especially like Death Stranding was. I'm sure you probably could get a bit more of a faster pace within the game. Kojima is slow at everything and is very expensive, and that came through a lot in Death Stranding, as it was extremely slow in its gameplay sections because it was a lot of walking. But there was something therapeutic about it, and something that just, it isn't quite like anything else in other games. And I found it fun, and there were sections of the game that had action, and it was a little hard at times, I'm not gonna lie, especially very early on in the game when you have fuck all. But there are parts of that game that are just so fucking slow, and I'm not gonna lie, I got bored at certain parts. But Kojima does this amazing thing of bringing you back in to this world that he's created, much like Tarantino does in his films, where there's some boring sections and he kind of just pulls you back into this film, much like Kojima did with the game. They do these things very similarly in both what they know best. And Kojima's a fucking film fanatic, and this came through a lot in his game. But obviously, like I said, they want to go for this weird, from what it seems to me, they want to go for this weird in-between bit of films and games. And like I said, it's going to be a lot more slow-paced and a much more of a huge emphasis on the story itself. Now, obviously that's going to be much like what we're getting now. The stories seem to be much more apparent in games, which is, I think, why we're getting more larger names attached to these games now, like Keanu Reeves being in Cyberpunk, and then this game having Norman Reedus, Guillermo del Toro, Mads Mikkelsen, all of these big names attached to Death Stranding, and then Keanu Reeves is in Cyberpunk, and I think this is a trend that's going to continue. And the stories are becoming much more important and apparent in games as they have in the recent years, which is fucking amazing. Thank you, Last of Us, for doing that. I appreciate you so much for what you did. Pray to the Lord and God, Last of Us, for making stories a very big deal in games. But obviously, there's going to be much more of an emphasis on the story, which some people really like and some people really hate, I think. Or they just don't give a fuck and they just want to play a fun game. And I'm one of those people that likes both. So, I like all kinds of games. But there's other people that this is not going to market to, and it's not going to sell. For me, yeah, sure, I'll fucking buy a Strand game. I don't care. It's probably going to be fun. I'll probably enjoy it if it's a good story. I don't care if it has the Kojima name attached to it. I know a lot of people really got Death Stranding because it's a Kojima game. I mean, it says it on the front of the fucking cover. It's obviously a big deal. But for me, I was like, it looks like a cool game. It looks right up my alley with how weird and, fucking just strange that world and lore is. It's really fucking weird. But I really enjoyed the game, overall. Like I said in my review, but anyway. But obviously with this much more slow-paced game and much more of an emphasis on story, I think this leads to probably more of a creation on these massive set pieces, which is what Kojima did in his game to kind of bring you in from those boring parts. Much like how there's like a dead body fucking is a nuke essentially within the Death Stranding world, and you see that happen at the beginning of that game after you have a little bit of a boring just walk, and it really shows the big emphasis on this game and what can happen and the consequences of this world. Sorry, that was fucking weird. And you see that happen throughout the game. So this slow-paced story and much more of an emphasis on story will lead to probably bigger set pieces and bigger cinematic set pieces within the game. So that's kind of what I see happening in a Strand game, is much more cinematic set pieces rather than just a gameplay. You just kind of playing the game and things happen. It's going to be much more cinematic focused, I'd say, in a Strand game. And it's obviously an amazing way to tell a story, like we saw with Death Stranding. And it's probably going to be much more of a favoured way to tell a story within a game in the future, maybe if these Strand games work out. But, like I said, without the Kojima name, there's they could not sell at all, because, like I said, a lot of people bought this game because it's a Kojima game. Like I said, I didn't care. But without that Kojima name, is there really much of a market for a Strand game? Like, I don't know. This is the problem, and I think we will see very soon when people start to make more of them and developers kind of delve into that weird Strand game thing. Obviously, we won't get game companies like EA or, some of those larger companies like Activision and EA. I don't ever see them kind of going into this weird Strand-like genre. They do what they do. They somewhat know what they are good at. Some of them definitely don't. But that's another video entirely. But they do what they do. They won't touch this kind of stuff, and I think you'll see more of an indie developers and some other developer companies, or not companies, but developers will come out of the woodworks attempting to go for these Strand-like games and make their own name in that kind of genre. But like the Souls games, because we've seen people make Soul games and they fucking suck. This could happen so easily with the Strand game. I mean, you could just have a boring game, full stop. Like, the story could suck, the characters could be boring, there could be like really shitty set pieces within the game. Who knows? And they may just not know how to do that weird in between of film and games. And look, I'm very excited for the future of Strand games, and I'd love to see more games like Death Stranding, because I'd fucking play the hell out of them. I mean, I love films, I love games, I love what's in between games and films. And I'm very excited to see the future of Death Stranding itself and Strand games. But other than that, that's all I really have to say. This was me kind of ranting about, how well Death Stranding was, and if there is really a market for the future of it, because, what people the reviews were very mixed, and how people came across out of this game and what they thought of it was just funny, because it was very polarizing. It split a lot of people down the middle, where you're seeing who really played games for the story and who plays games just to play the game. But it was a very slow-paced game, and that was obviously an issue with this. But for me, I didn't care. I like a lot of slow-paced things and smart things and intelligent things. And no, I'm not above everyone, because I just said that. Anyway, that's it for this video. There will be links in the description to support these fires in Australia, because they are fucking horrible and disastrous. We've lost 1 billion animals, and it's terrible. Think of all the koalas and all the kangaroos and the baby koalas. Just think of the koalas, because everyone loves koalas. But a lot of animals have been lost, and this is a very serious emergency that's going on. There will be links in the description to Red Cross Australia to donate, all that kind of stuff. The music for this video will be in the description. Go check out Weird Heat. They haven't uploaded in a very long time, but they have other stuff, the guys that made that. And everything Silver Soul Gaming will also be linked in the description, along with my links to my Twitter and all of that stuff. But yeah, go check out the Silver Soul Gaming website, our Twitter, our Twitch, my Twitch. I haven't streamed in a while, but I kind of want to stream very soon. I might do a Batman Arkham stream. Those games are really great, and I love doing replays of them every year, because I do that yearly. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week for another video. I have no clue on. I think I want to do an Assassin's Creed video. And I really want to touch on Marvel's Avengers, because the marketing for Avengers has been so shit. It has been really bad, and I really think Square Enix need to realize that you can't just sell a game based off its name. You need to do something more, because it'll be a cautionary tale to other developers that, holy fuck, you can't sell a game that has a simple name attached to it. And even with the names as big as Avengers, sure that it'll sell, but it's not going to sell as good as I think it will. Anyway, I'll see you guys next week for another video.